there, friends. Welcome to my channel where we'll be keeping it cheap so you can rise and be awoken and no longer sleep. And today's topic is going to be about advertisement genius. And I picked this topic because a lot of people don't really understand what advertisement really is. And advertisement really holds a lot of more weight than we think. Down to like just a quick example, and it's going to lead into my first question. The things that we wear every day. Chrome Heart birthday weekend, so in Chrome Heart, I'm advertising this. So get into the question for question one for Keepinitgeep. Are we all being used as a pawn to advertise in every single thing we buy from the brand without getting paid for it? 100%, always. And that's one thing that they don't mention when you buy things. And we should actually get, we should actually pay less than what we pay for like Chrome Hearts and big brands, because once you put it on, people's going to ask you where you got it from. And then 9 times out of 10, if they are serious about really liking it, which when I ask, I really like it, and I'm, going to look for something similar. I'm not going to get the same thing you got, but it's going to, bring my mind to, going to the website or wherever you may have got it from. And with that being said, that's free promo. And a lot of people don't really understand what advertisement is. That's a part of the promo. When you put on the brand of somebody else's brand, you're advertising that brand when you put on someone else's brand. And a lot of people don't really get that. Choose wisely, because some brand may be, what they say, to play the race card. We're always promoting, no matter down to the glasses, down to the hat, down to anything, down to the watches. We're promoting these guys at all times. So sometimes I think it's best that we start doing our own thing. But if you can't, we get it. You got to start. You got to start somewhere. You got to start with somebody else's brand first. So yeah, going into question 2 for Keepinitgeep. If advertisement was not a method, how could things then be presented? I feel like word of mouth. Word of mouth cards. I have actually Keepinitgeep cards. That's how some of my subscribers have subscribed, because I actually have a couple thousand cards that I actually, give to people when I'm out. It ain't just with you guys when I pay for promo. I'm actually, paying for an advertisement for this channel, at times, and like I said, if we didn't have, the computers or whatever else, it would be through word of mouth. So you would have to actually have a mouthpiece. See, a lot of people that we following and seeing on the internet right now, for the most part at its top tier, these are people that we would never come in contact with. So they're not actually using their voice. They do all these type of things that they're doing over the internet. If they were in person, they'd be so convincing in person. Think about all your highest paid bloggers or vloggers or, whatever. Would they really be as pleasing in person if you had to meet these guys before coming across them? That's a good question, I feel like, for everyone to think about and answer. Without advertisement, would making millions of dollars be even possible? To me, no. Because advertisement comes with a lot of benefits. And when I say benefits, it comes with people not knowing you. It comes with people knowing you. Excuse me. It comes with the umpteen amount of money that you have to actually put behind promo. It come with face card, your presence over the internet, and you don't have to say a word to nobody, but it's just you presenting on, basically putting on a persona. This may not even be you over the internet. This is who I should believe from what I'm hearing and seeing, but in reality, this might not even be you at all. So that in-person contact shows a lot. It shows by body language. It shows by the way you announce things and say things, and give off your energy, how frigid you are, it gives everything, and a lot of people would not be, I don't believe, at the top and making all these millions that they're making, especially off the internet. It just wouldn't be a thing, so yeah, I thought that was a good question also. So yeah, question 4 for Keepinitgeep. Is advertising more important than the product? Is advertisement more important than the product? It's definitely more important than the actual product, because it's like the product is secondary. When you think about promo, an advertisement, that should be the first thing in your mind when you're trying to present something new to the world. When you're trying to present something new to the world that they may not have heard of, may not have seen, may not even know about, may not have never crossed their mind, you're trying to be appealing, you're trying to be pleasing, you're trying to, gain an audience. You're trying to gain an audience, rather it's to buy things or just engage with your content. You're trying to gain these people and convince these people that this is what you should tune into or this is what you should buy. So without advertisement and putting a nice amount of money behind it or just whatever you can afford, you almost don't have a chance other than in your city. So you only can go so far in your city when it comes to content, when it comes to, selling things. But if you want to reach the bigger horizon, I should say, you got to go outwards. And you may not be able to go to travel at every state to give your cards out. And you may not even have the money to travel like that, but you can do it over just the course of your phone. And I feel like that's the sweetest thing that they created, and that's why I say advertisement genius. So yeah, with that being said, we halfway through the questions already, and I hope you guys are enjoying my channel. Get you guys wondering about things and questioning yourself, so you can kind of want more. So moving on to question 5 for Keepinitgeep. Do we use advertisement all day in everything we do? 100%, always, everything we do. Right now, I'm advertising my brand right now. That's what you're looking at every time you're watching my channel. That's why I hold it like this. It's just a food for knowledge, food for thought. I hold my cards like this because I'm promoting my channel. This is what I'm doing. So it don't matter if you want to subscribe or not, you're going to remember this name. And if the knowledge is good enough, you're going to be like, Keepinitgeep. Whatever that guy was saying, that Keepinitgeep guy, that channel was actually good. And that's what it's all about. It's advertisement, everything. That's why they say it's kind of a bad thing when you wear people's jerseys that's in the NBA or the NFL, because you're advertising them. They're not paying you for that. That's free promo. You ain't know nothing about the Lions or whoever. Who else I can think? The Sixers or the Lakers. Some of the bigger names. You're going to know about them today when you see this jersey or whatever somebody got on. Chrome. You're going to know about Chrome today if you ain't know nothing about them because I got it on. You're going to be wondering what all these colors is, and I'll tell you the name. You're going to go research them. So it's all, promo, free promo after you buy it or purchase it. And that's just the way it goes. Question 6 for Keepinitgeep. Could advertisement be the most important method in the development of the world of all times? 100%, because think of this. This is something food for thought once again. My whole channel is about food for thought, basically. But think about this. Would you really have the drive? If you are the entrepreneur that you may think you are, would you really have that drive of just wanting to do more? Keep presenting your product on the internet with knowing that the only people that you have as friends in your city or that you just add randomly is the only people that will ever see you? Would you feel as confident? Let me answer that for you guys. I think not. Nobody would. Let's just be honest. Because how would you really make money? How would you make a living? It's a lot of people making a living off their brands, off their music, off their acting. Just think about if it wasn't the internet to reach all these millions and gazillions of people without advertising. It would be hard. And the drive would be so bare minimum that you probably would give up way more faster or easier than you probably thought of, because a lot of people have thought of giving up at different times. Just no matter, at some point in everyone's life, you done had that down moment where you was like, man, should I really keep doing this? But it was something that was like a ding, gotta keep doing this. I have the resources, or I just need the money, So just think about if it wasn't advertisement, you can actually pay for it, and it was all word of mouth. A lot of people would lose that drive. We wouldn't know half of these people that we know today, and that's just being real. My knowledge of knowing of what I think, Moving on to question 7 for Keepinitgeep. Who made advertisement as an invention? See, a lot of people don't know this. You got to do your research. You can look this up yourself. Look him up. It's a guy called Albert Lasker. Salesmanship in print. He's known for that. And also orange juice and Lucky Strike cigarettes. And he came up with this brilliant idea of just being also like known for this, because he's been like the most popular guy in the modern day to actually do, promotion and putting himself out there the way he did it, which is so brilliant. You paved the way. You paved the way for the majority of the world. Everyone that wants to be successful and has the funds or saved up or whatever it may be to actually put yourself out there, or even just doing it word of mouth. You made that a thought process. I think that's a pretty genius idea to actually come up with. Moving on to question 8 for Keeping It Jeep. If you could think back on anything in your life that was not your invention but you advertised it and regret it, what would it be? Me personally, it would be firearms. I feel like firearms, even though I grew up loving them and liking them and got introduced to them at a young age, just for safety purposes and everything like that, it would be something that I wouldn't have never put on the internet or show myself ever having, because it's like almost like this is my protection. Why am I showing something that will only protect me, not the society or the world that I'm presenting it to? It don't make sense. How is that helpful? Because it's a positive way you can promote firearms, for a person's safety, just for that reason. But if you're doing it for anything outside of that and you're just pointing at the camera or whatever it may be on some younger minded thinking, you're hurting society. You're hurting someone, especially if you have a big following. Someone may see that and, do something negative or do something that, may cost their life, and rather death or jail, So I wish I just would have did it solely for me and had a firearm solely for me at a young age. Now I don't show it at all, no matter if I got it or not. That's just something I won't do. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you guys share. Make sure you guys comment. I love you guys' feedback. I love, tuning in to you guys. And, I love when you guys write me on Instagram or whatever else I may have for you guys. And, talk to me on, rather it's TikTok, Instagram. I appreciate you guys' feedback. Even if you guys are too shy to leave it in the comments, you guys, I'd have people write me on Instagram and things like that. I appreciate you guys, and I do read comments. I do read my messages. So yeah, just keep it coming. I'm gonna come back to you guys again with another good video, and I'm just gonna keep it coming. And with that being said, that's all I have for you guys on today's vlog of Keeping It Jeep, and helping mind should evolve and consciously teach.